I feel like the movie gave us a great finale, but the book, it went deeper, it went darker, it was more dangerous. Are we going to see that? I really want to see that. Game of life-sized chess. A room full of flying keys. Boy with a scar facing a man without a body, face, or head, face at the back of a body. The final episode from season 1 could give us a version we've never experienced before. Will they nail it on the head, or will it be a little bit naff? Episode 8, the trapdoor and the end of the innocence. We're going to find out what happens with the stone. Thank you for joining me in this episode. We are going through the HBO series, and I'm going through each episode that I think should be in the new series and what I think should be included. We're looking at the book, we're looking at the movie, and deciding which bits need more screen time. This is where we're going to be wrapping up season 1. Should I do an extended version and have 2 more episodes? Thank you for joining me. We are at the last one here. If you haven't already gone back, check out those episodes and see how we got to this journey. Filming of HBO's new series is officially underway, and we've got our first look at the new trio. Dominic McLaughlin as Harry, Arabella Stanton as Hermione, and Alistair Stout as Ron. Production is happening at Leavesdown Studios, and the same legendary location as the original films. Hogwarts is again full of magical mystery, but in very long school hours. Up to 600 students are enrolled on a custom-built on-set school. If you're liking these breakdowns and my vision of these episodes, drop a like on the video. It just gives me a trigger so I know you're enjoying what I'm doing. Now, let's have a look at the trapdoor and the challenges they faced. So there's key differences between the book and the movies. There's a little bit more that needs to happen to solve each puzzle in the book, but they're a bit like simplified in the movie version. So should we see more detail about how they get through those challenges to get to the final goal? So with the challenges, there's 3 challenges there, and we kind of play on the fact of like who's good at each challenge and the key strengths of each of the trio to kind of solve each of the challenges to get to the final goal. So playing on that fact, showing more details about that would have been nice. So Devil's Snare, flying keys. So Hermione's logic and quick thinking is Devil's Snare. She does quite well there. The flying keys is Harry's seeker skills, and the giant wizard's chess game is Ron. So if you've not thought about that before, it's kind of like each of those challenges, it's showing each of the skills of each of the trio, so they're all kind of good in their own way. So it's nice to build on the fact that Quirrell's got some internal like struggles that he's got there with how this kind of led him to Voldemort kind of attaching himself to him. So it'll all be interesting how they visualize these effects, because they have already said they don't want to use too much enhancements in the films. They want to keep it like true life. So being a magical world, I don't know how much like CGI animation they're going to use when they've already said they don't want to use too much of it, because that's going to be more difficult to portray some of these things that happen if they're unable to use like really enhanced CGI effects. But maybe have each of those as like proper segments in the film, in the series episode. Keys that swarm like bees, full-scale chessboard, but they're not using CGI, so they're gonna have to be careful how they do this and how they move. It's gonna be interesting. A lot of camera trickery, I'm assuming. So in the book, we kind of find out that Quirrell reveals Voldemort is on the back of his head, and Harry withstands dark magic to protect the stone. But in the movie, I think there's more like a theatrical play there, so maybe that's justified because they need to build up to the attention. And like HBO has this massive challenge of getting the full nostalgia from the full in like season 1 of the book version of Harry Potter and condensing that to make it be a full version of like J.K. Rowling's original version. So here's what I think they should include from the book versus like the film. A stronger emotional finale. So it's also with the finale introduce Harry as like more of a symbol, not just a boy, and how like he finds out about the love protection that he got from mom towards Voldemort, and like foreshadowing the prophecy of what's going to happen. So this episode and the first season basically just sets apart Harry. It's like, who are you and what sets you apart? What do you stand for? It kind of gives you those feeling of what he is as a character, what we're going to be seeing in later episodes. There's elements in this episode where Ron sacrifices himself. It kind of gives us a strategic, loyal a brave person's feel, and Hermione's ability to solve the puzzles made her stand out as like the knowledgeable, instinctive friend, which is trustworthy. And then Harry's resistance is portrayed in an emotional, symbolic way because he's choosing love over power. This is the true moment for the trio, and it sets it apart. After this moment, nothing will be the same. And also interesting to play on the fact that after all this magical stuff happening, Harry's then back to the Dursleys, like in a normal household. So with a slight change, because he's no longer unseen. People know who he is, and now he's got the element of, you know what, I've got another house outside the house I'm living in, and I've got another family waiting for me, and I can use that to be where I kind of see my future going as Harry. So if HBO nails this season, it'll be like setting the foreshadow of what other seasons will be like and what we can expect. Will they get it? What should we watch out for? And I think it touches on the fact that actually the puzzles, there were more like 5 puzzles. In the film we really see like the 3 big ones, but we need to include in that the Fluffy getting entrance to like the trapdoor. Then we had the devil's snare, we had the flying keys, we had the wizard's chest, and then we had the wizard's riddle about the stone. So there's actually 5 challenges. Will we see more about this? Like, too, because when I think of the movie, I kind of think of the 3 main ones, but not the other 2 as challenges as such, because they kind of already combat those. And how far will they go with Quirrell's like demise and Voldemort's escape? Because in a way we think he's gone, but he's actually gone as in he saved himself and he'll be back later. But do we touch more on that? And will the new Dumbledore speak to Harry afterwards, kind of summarize in more of like a grandfather figure, or more like a general preparing for war? Because in a way he knows what's going to come, and how is he going to be playing that? We talked about this in other episodes. Should he include Harry more on like what's going to happen, what should be included, prepare him for the dangers coming? And just like that, that's going to be season 1 of Harry Potter. We've had the 8 episodes. I don't feel like I've been able to go into as much detail as I would have liked. I've only been covering the main, like the plots that would be nice to elaborate on. Make sure to let me know in the comments what I missed out in season 1 and what should be more included. There's so many theories out there that we could go into. Maybe I'll do an extended cut and add a couple of more episodes later in the season. I also need to think about season 2, because the Chamber of Secrets is being filmed at the same time as season 1. They're doing them back to back for the series, so they can get the same kind of feel. And obviously they don't want to have a big difference in age, because people will age as they're filming the movies. So it'd be nice to see that journey. Let me know in the comments, and make sure to like this video if you're liking what I'm doing, so it encourages me to make more of these. I am in the preps and planning of season 2. I want to start that as soon as possible, really. So let me know what you want me to include in that. I will be on X, formerly Twitter, where you can follow me more for updates and news about the series and episodes. That's at Wondatell. You want to see the next episode in the series? Check this playlist. You'll see every episode for this season. Also, if you're liking these breakdowns and my vision of these episodes, drop a like on the video. It just gives me a trigger so I know you're enjoying what I'm doing. And I'll see you on the next version of this new series here.